on the air at Suzilla.
Woo! Welcome to Suzilla. I'm Susie. That's Matt.
Hey.
We're here at Wenatchee Insurance talking about stuff we talk about because we talk about stuff.
Well, this is an episode that we've, 12 years in the making.
Yeah, I know, right? In so many ways, Like I was saying this morning, this is the end of an era. Our son is graduating from high school tomorrow.
Yeah.
And his journey in school started about the same time we started with our insurance journey.
Yeah, because there was the 4th of July weekend before he started school.
Mm-hmm.
Him and I were at my first office pulling up carpets.
Yeah. Yep. He was a 5-year-old pulling carpet.
Yeah, and that's what we did because it was dirty, nasty, industrial glued down carpets that we pulled up, and he was there. I still love some of the great shots of him and a little polo shirt with the Farmers logo on it.
Little blue polo shirt. Yeah, he was there at the grand opening and the grand closing.
So yeah,
I'm a little I don't know, misty about it, I suppose.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things that is, it happens in life. It doesn't happen for everyone.
And I'm really glad that's happening for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Nick's been an amazing adventure, and it's not going to stop just because he's graduating from high school. But being his mom has been absolutely, top 2 things I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't realize as a parent. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have a kid that graduates high school. That's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird. There's nothing. It's going to happen, but nothing really prepares you for it.
You can have the paperwork done. You can take the pictures, but there's that whole emotional thing that, you don't get prepared for it. And he's our only kid, so we've never done this before. We've done it with nieces and nephews. It's like, oh yeah, hey, congratulations. Here's your card. Knock your socks off. But mostly, this is the first time it's hit us ourselves, and it's worth a big sigh.
It is. And, it's not everyone graduates. We're running about a 5-year average, about 86% for the state.
Oh, that's pretty good. Any guesses on what it's like here in the Valley? So I imagine it's not bad. Probably a little less than the 86, but
it's hard to say because that's state average.
Yeah, I don't know. But graduating from high school, I remember that, the be cool, stay in school, don't drop out. That was a really big thing when, 35 years ago when we were in school. I don't know if the dropout, hopefully the dropout levels changed. It used to be this whole big thing about, oh yeah, you're going to drop out of school, blah, 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 go get a job. It's like, it's not so easy to do that these days.
No, it's a different market. It's one of those things.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
Well, most of the reasons, let's be realistic, most of the reasons why people would drop out of school when we were kids was because there's a couple of different reasons. You got pregnant. You needed to go and get a job. You had an addiction issue and you couldn't continue, or you were just, one of those kids.
Okay.
But either way, and thing is about the, things have changed. People still have to go and get jobs.
Okay, so.
What we have the numbers.
School days. Graduation rate is around 89% for Eastmont.
For Eastmont, okay, which is where Nick went to school.
That was last year.
That's good.
This is last year because like free lunch program 54%. We know that's blown out of the water because they made free lunches available.
Yes.
Minority report, about 50%, 50.6 are considered minority.
Okay. Hopefully most of them graduate as well.
It actually ranks on the College Readiness Index of 10,211, or 210th in the state. So we're
not too
just
bad.
kind of plodding around. But where was the AP test?
Oh yeah, because our kid's an AP student.
Yeah, 62% are economically disadvantaged.
Yeah, that's about right for this area. Of course, it depends on what they're actually counting as economically disadvantaged. Because if they're just looking at kids who qualify for the,
Oh no, that's a higher number than the percent for school lunch.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe if they're looking at kids on Medicaid, Washington Apple Health, that's kind of skewed because a lot of kids whose folks are actually making pretty decent money are eligible for Medicaid because we have expanded Medicaid in Washington State. I don't know. I'd have to do.
Yeah, you're justifying.
I'm justifying. I would have to see what the metrics actually are that they use to come up with those numbers. But the fact is, we have a low income, population, and the good news is they're getting educations, and that's a plus. Hopefully, a lot of them graduated.
I saw an AP test.
I don't know.
Ranking. It might have been another one.
Could have been.
But yeah, he's been trucking right alongside us, our small business insurance journey.
And it's been a journey.
And it has been a journey. And it's been a very incredible one.
Mostly really good.
The first number of years. Oh, here, yeah, skill card. Took at least one AP exam, only 11%.
Mm-hmm.
Passed one AP exam, 8%.
Mm-hmm.
Mathematics proficiency, 25%. Reading proficiency, 69%. Science proficiency, 23%. Graduation, 89%. He had, 4 AP tests?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and passed them all.
So yeah, it's one of those things, and part of it is I think had to be his journey alongside us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We made sure that we've always been Team McComb.
Mm-hmm.
Even since very, very beginning, we've always worked as a unit, and I think that helped him be well-rounded.
Well, we did the back and forth childcare early on.
Yeah. We were fortunate to be able to do that.
Well, yeah.
But we made
you worked day shift. I worked graveyard.
Right. So we traded off, and it was exhausting for both of us, but we made it work.
Yeah, we made it work. Early on, my mother, bless her heart, got back into canning.
Mm-hmm.
And blessed us with all sorts of jams and jellies.
Yes. To this day, Nick is not a fan of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because he ate an awful lot of those.
We ate an awful lot of those working up because that, as Susie hinted, that first agency was open and closed in the blink of an eye.
Yeah. It was not successful, but you know what? You make it work.
It was a learning experience.
Exactly. Everything we do is a learning experience.
And so we moved on, and, I literally, was writing policies out there for my next appointment.
Mm-hmm. You bet.
Because I made it move that quickly. There's no reason to linger. It's you when you're a professional, you move on.
Yeah, it's true.
And so we moved on, and within a year, we started writing health.
Yeah.
I wrote high risk, health, and flood. Flood got dropped quickly, and high risk paid the bills for a while.
It did. And then the next year, I jumped in, helped with the health, and then the year after that, I started with Medicare.
Yep.
And Medicare essentially replaced the high risk. Eventually,
yeah, because it was one I did.
It took a few years.
About 4 years of that.
About 3 years. We shelved it after I started Medicare,
and I didn't like the direction.
No, the direction of that industry was not going in a way that was a positive manner for us.
Well, you're playing that Midwestern coverage, and what it was I wanted to spend more time as being a dad.
And that was taking a lot of time away from all of it.
And it wasn't necessarily taking enough time. I didn't like the way the industry was going, and it's something that I could say, hey, son, because we went on a lot of adventures together.
That's true.
because you were working and childcare was us.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was points that my son was there with inspections.
Mhm.
When we say it really is that family. If he decides to continue on this journey, he'll be third generation.
Yeah. Because my dad was an insurance agent. I'm an insurance agent.
Mhm.
And if he wants to be an insurance agent, we will teach him how to do it.
Mhm. And we were about a hair's breadth away from having him right this fall.
Yeah. But
And the reason why we're not is because we don't have enough income coming in.
no, we've got
We had that initial partner say, "Hey, no," and the fight breaks out.
And the fight broke out. And so we're still fighting the fight.
We're still fighting the fight.
If he wants to, he can come in next year. Probably.
Yeah. It's one of those things I would like him to learn about insurance. He's awesome at outreach.
Mm-hmm. He's great with people.
And he's got a great head on his shoulders.
He does.
So it makes sense. One of the things that Susie and I did early on that we're looking at doing again is there was a point where we went out and got our food handlers cards and sold hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we did that for one softball tournament during I think it was Memorial Day weekend.
I don't remember, but we needed a way to make a few extra bucks, so we sold hot dogs.
Yeah,
and made it work.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that you do as small businesses. Occasionally, you step up and you do things that seem a little bit odd to outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of what makes when you say small business struggle, it is a struggle because right now there's kind of this crossroads where we're at culturally, where some people say they support small business and they treat small business as a treat.
As a treat?
As a treat.
Like you own a small business, so you have a treat?
There's some of that.
Uh-huh.
What I'm saying is when they shop a small business, it's a treat.
Oh.
I've got a special store I go to. Hey, this restaurant, they've been running it for years, make the greatest spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
They treat it as a treat.
Look, yeah, restaurant meals should be a treat.
Compared to, they think nothing of, hey, I'm going to, get on Slack and order Chipotle.
Yeah.
It's a very different mindset. And this is, like I said, this is individuals who, vocally support, but when the rubber meets the road, they treat it as a special occasion. A treat. They think nothing of going online.
Yeah.
Or going to a big box store.
A lot of that is personal finance. You know that.
Some of it is and some of it isn't. And the reason why I'm saying some of it is and some of it isn't is because when you shop regularly, you push out those big box stores. Mm-hmm. You start to see higher wages. You start to see one of the coolest things I've seen was an exchange of small business upon small business, small business, in promotion. So literally, that energy and those dollars are being traded back and forth inside the community.
True, that's absolutely true.
And so you raise the wealth.
Yeah, there is I'm going to devil advocate a little bit here. There is a place for the convenience in the larger box stores because your average boutique doesn't carry toilet paper. There's a place for those companies.
See, you automatically went to boutique versus Plaza Superjet.
You're right. I did, didn't I? Bad job, Susie. Bad job, Susie.
No, it's a great job because that's I wanted to highlight that because when I say it's a treat, It's like, hey, do you go to the Carneita
Yeah.
or do you go to Safeway?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I got shipped off as a young boy to my grandparents' house for the summers to work the farm, Thursday was clip coupons. Friday was going to town because it was 70 miles away.
Yeah.
And shop at 4 different stores.
Yes. And
now, we're down to 2 groceries in Wenatchee?
3 grocery stores, but 2 companies.
Yeah.
4 large chains. We have like the corner. We've got some corner markets. Yeah. We've got the oh my gosh, I can't think of what's called the big Mexican market down on South Wenatchee Avenue.
It's not Super Plaza. I know which one you're talking
about. Yeah, Plaza Mexicana.
Plaza Mexicana.
Yeah, and I think I honestly haven't shopped in there in a while. You've got a couple of like corner stores, Plaza Superjet. But generally speaking, for large, there's Winco.
Yeah.
So that's 3 companies.
Yeah, they moved. But yeah, predominantly you've narrowed down your shopping opportunity, which allows them to jack up prices and lower wages.
Yes. Hopefully the wages aren't going. I think the wages aren't necessarily. I haven't looked at wages there lately, but they're certainly not.
They're pretty stagnant.
That's the word I was looking for, was stagnant. And even if you're, it's a union gig with these guys, but even if you're a journeyman, you're not making doodly these days.
No, it takes hours on hours.
Well, not only that, but once you even get to that level, you're barely, it used to be that a person could be a grocery checker and support their family. No, not even vaguely anymore.
So yeah, you've got these long journeys, and going through school is one of those long journeys.
It is.
And we've done a pretty good job of focusing on it. We ran into Nick's kindergarten teacher last Sunday.
Yep, we did. It was kind of awesome.
And that was amazing because, living in a small town, and, we got to catch up and chat. They're retired, but they've got, kids that are turning 50.
Yeah.
That they went through. And, she'd seen Nick's progress all along the way. One of his principals, Miss Dory, Facebooked me because when he did the walk yesterday through all the different schools.
Oh.
That's one of those Eastmont traditions, and he walked through and talked briefly with Miss Dory.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that.
And that was, she was blown away. As we raised this big, strapping young man that's compassionate and intelligent.
Yep.
You can't really ask for much more there. And we keep going along, and it's like the next phase of his journey. Because one of the things that it has done is he's got a humility to him. He's very humble. Sometimes it's a little too humble. And it's like he's practical, but sometimes a little bit too practical.
Yeah.
He'll self-sacrifice, and that comes from that struggling growing up.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than your experience as a kid of an insurance salesperson.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, because I remember getting into this, and it was no sales bad.
I was scared.
Yeah, but some of that comes from you growing up in that environment.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, a lot of what happened with me was extremely typical of our generation, and the kids weren't part of the process.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Gen X, we grew up kind of feral but weird at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I know in my household, when my parents split,
yeah,
go fancy that. My dad always had a second job. Mm-hmm. He was making bank and always had a second job.
Okay.
That's just the aggressive nature. My mom went to work with the university.
Yeah.
And she did that to get a pension.
Yes.
And when I was talking to my brother the other week, he was doing the look at me, here I've got a degree and I'm in business and I'm getting a pension. I'm like, dude, you don't remember the conversation with mom. She took the job at the university to get a pension.
Mm-hmm. No, he was a lot younger. He was pretty young at the
Yeah,
time.
he's 7 years younger than I.
Yeah.
So he's considerably younger, but it didn't click on him until I told him that. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a point when we were, it was just on the other side of high school. My mom decided to work on, she took her skills that she learned at parking division on parking cars and doing bids. And she went out and did the the parking for the concert series at Chateau Saint Michel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
So they run a concert series out there. It's about 8 concerts every summer.
Yeah, they still doing that?
I think they are. I think I saw a concert out there not too long ago. But there was like 3 or 4 summers that we ran the parking crews out there.
Nice.
My mom would set it up. We would stack cars, and it was, the hustle. Some of us would take care of people. Some of us would take care of customers. Mm-hmm. My mom would do the big scope of work mm-hmm. and put the bid in, get subcontractors in, the whole 9 yards. So it was an interesting little side hustle.
Yeah.
That both me and my sister did.
Okay.
I don't think Josh never did.
No, I don't. I think he probably missed that.
But yeah, there's always been this weird sort of entrepreneurial thread through my family line. Mm-hmm. Grandpa was the hustler of hustlers.
Yeah.
And being a carpenter, he did that as natural. So, our son, there was a point where he was like, okay, let's do something, with these video games. And he actually made money, was on Steam.
Something like that.
Yeah, he was buying and selling stuff on Steam.
I think he probably still does to a degree, but yeah, getting, not actual money involved, but, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It was definitely goods and services.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
The video games, it's virtual trading and sales,
Yeah, but I know he's been done some horse swapping that for years, yeah. And it's working that environment and working that stuff, and that's stuff that we didn't have as a kid, really.
No.
And it's interesting to see on how the generations able to do that if you let them.
Yeah, and we didn't let him go to work. We start off from day one. Your job is to learn lots and have fun.
Yep.
That was his have a great day, learn lots, have fun from day one when he started going to school.
Yeah.
It is now just about time he's got one more day of.
He's got one more day. Tomorrow's the day we're out of here. Friday, we're going to watch him do the walk along the footprints up in Eastmont, and then the evening we'll watch him graduate in Town Toyota Center. And Susie's just cracking up here because, like I said, it's one of those things you can't really, what's going to happen, but it's like, how are you going to get there?
Yeah.
And it's been 12 years of these ups and downs, these trips and investment, because we did things together as a family, so we know how to work things as a family. We would do road trips.
Yep, we invested time in each other.
We invested a lot of time in each other. We've seen almost half of America.
Good chunk of it.
A good chunk of it. I don't think we've taken him across the Mississippi.
No, we haven't gotten that far. We've never gotten to California, weirdly enough.
Yeah, well, that was kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
California and New Mexico are the two we've missed on this side.
Yeah, we still got a ways to go down there. But it just, it just means we'll have more trips in the future. Just because he's an adult doesn't mean we can't go on trips together.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. And the reason I say that is because there was a point about junior high.
Mm-hmm.
He did hey, Mom and Dad, I want you to ease up on the school participation.
Yeah, that was kind of hard. We were pretty, PTO kind of parents, and really active in his, school stuff, but he kind of wanted us to back off of it. So we respected him.
Well, he recognized early on that it was a privilege.
Oh, that his parents were showing up?
He had parents that showed up regularly.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't one, it was both of us.
Yeah, it's true.
His teachers queued up on it.
Yeah.
They didn't really know what to do with a dad a lot of times.
That's true. We did run into that a lot.
Because it's like, what's this strange male figure? And it's dad taking time off work to interact with his child at school.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
And I couldn't have done that if we didn't have a small business that was being successful.
Yeah.
We had to master scheduling and do some changes along the way.
Yep.
And we're gonna, continue to do that as time goes on as an adult, because, he's picked the college that's 2 blocks away.
Yeah. It's good. That's going to be convenient. One of the nice things about that is he's not going to have to find an apartment right away. He can hang out with us still for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The weird thing for me is he's not going to be home that much anymore. He'll be out doing stuff. He wants to go get a job, so he's going to go get a job. He's going to be in school. He's going to have friends. He's going to probably start dating if he's not already. He's been he keeps that close. He keeps close.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually he's going to start spending the night out.
Yeah.
And well.
So
it's part of growing up, and it's killing me. And I love it. I love that he's doing it. I love that he's launching into his adulthood, and I love it and hate it all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to make sure that he has a better opportunity than we had.
Yes, which is what every generation strives to do.
Should strive to
do.
And one of the things that he's expressed a non-interest to is, what both my father and I did was join the military.
Right.
And I completely respect that ideal because it's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
I've had people that have blown out. My best friend in high school, he actually joined the delayed entry program before me.
Oh.
And he couldn't commit to it. He didn't even make the basic training.
Oh. One of my closest friends did join. He joined the Navy, mm-hmm. and washed out shortly after basic training.
Okay.
He couldn't hack it, so he could get a medical discharge.
Yeah, so medical's different.
And it was a psychological medical.
Doesn't matter. It's a medical.
It's a medical.
And I don't have that stigma on the mental health.
No, not at all. The fact is, it was not the right fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
He tried. He got through basic, which was kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He, got a posting, but it just wasn't. It wasn't the right fit. He was trying to square peg round hole, and no matter how hard he pushed, it didn't fit. So eventually it slipped and he came home.
So yeah, that's one of the things that that our son's going to figure out, in the next couple of years. And there's a reason why he's one of the reasons, other than the financials, of not going to a big university, despite his awesome grades, is he wants to take the time to figure out what direction he's going in.
Yep. And that's a good thing. Give your kids the time to figure it out.
It's as a parent, it takes a lot of patience.
Yes.
So if you have patience, you're going to want to do it, because small business
also takes patience.
Also takes a lot of patience, because things are going to be more expensive than you want. Certain things are going to move slower than you want.
Yeah.
And certain things are going to run at you harder than you expect.
Yeah, there's going to be roadblocks that you did not anticipate.
And that's the same as raising a kid.
Yeah, raising a business is a lot like raising a kid. That's a good place to stop.
Because Susie's got to go off and have her cry moment before the day starts. So yeah, I highly recommend if you have a child. There was a lot that were above 7 and 8, because they start to get autonomous at that point.
Yeah.
It makes it a whole lot easier to look at doing small business.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. It's a very learning experience. Susie didn't even mention her mom's restaurant.
That's true.
And I bring that up every so often to people because of her fond memories there of hustling tables.
Yep.
Challenge things, have patience, come at things very curious.
Curious is a great word there. Okay. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.